Yeah, yeah, it's the power hour where the bruises eat. No finesse, no flukes, just backs that punish. Fantasy gold in the mud, let's eat. Yo, welcome to the power hour.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Power Hour. And if you are watching this, SC, you did an amazing job on the intro video. Absolutely love it. And a little bit something special if you are watching too. You can see in the other side camera, we have Muscles Ryan Mail, who we work together at DNA. We've done a lot of shows together. I can't say probably hundreds on us.
Yeah.
We've done
I'd
a ton. So love having you on here. And we're going to get into it here. We got all kinds of breaking news. We got some players we're going to talk about here that kind of make and break players. And I kind of want to just talk about the Scott Fishbowl draft. We were live in Pittsburgh, got to do that. It was amazing. So, some of this crazy news we got going on. We got Quinshon Judkins, okay? He's sitting in jail right now in Broward County in Florida for, it seems like a domestic dispute. So, did he put hands on this person? We don't really know much, but I want to kind of get your thoughts on this, Mus.
Yeah, I mean, Judkins is a guy that I'm going to speak for you, I guess. I like the talent of him. I think you like the talent of him also. I mean, going to Cleveland, I mean, we hated to pump up the Nick Chubb name, but it's like I kind of, thought that maybe he could fill that Nick Chubb role fairly decent. I know you always said about the game script and stuff like that. I definitely agreed with that, and it could be a Samson kind of buy. But yeah, I mean, he's a talent that we believe in. I mean, hopefully he doesn't make this a regular thing. But as we see in the NFL, unfortunately, sometimes it's like these things do kind of get swept under the rug. So if there is a buying window, I think this is almost like a decent buying window.
Right. How I look at it is I have been pumping up Samson quite a bit because they were kind of close in my ranks. Now, of course, Judkins was a tier above, and I'm like you. It's nothing against Judkins. It's a lot of game script. It's a lot of this line isn't great. If Cleveland's projected to win, less than 5 games, I mean, how often is Judkins going to be going between the tackles? That's kind of where I was. Like, obviously, I'm not a psychic medium. We didn't see this coming, but I feel like right now, what Judkins has to not happen is there's video cameras everywhere. Everybody has a ring doorbell. Everybody has cameras. If it's a woman, if it's a man, it don't even really matter. If you see video of him punching somebody and them hitting the ground, that's not good for Judkins, man. And if it happened, it's very possible. We're getting so little information right now, but it's just he's probably going to go down the ranks just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I mean, for best ball and stuff, I don't know if I'm willing to take that gamble, because if he is suspended for 6 games, if it does happen, I mean, that sucks. These first games are really important for us, but as far as a dynasty standpoint, he's probably is a really good buy, because if you can get him a little bit cheaper now, and some people kind of put their personal feelings, how these players truly are into their portfolio of who they want. Like, we know Tyreek Hill is not the greatest person, people like that, but I'm trying to win. And I think Judkins still does give you a good chance to win here in the future, because he was somebody that, yeah, you're right. I mean, we really like the tape and everything. So I think as now you're going to probably see him fall a little bit in drafts, and especially in best ball. And I mean, we're going to see what happens, because Mike Hall, who Cleveland drafted last year, kind of a similar 6 games. I think it's a good possibility that if he's found guilty in how fast this goes, I think something we got to keep in the back of our heads as well is, rookie training camp for these guys starts here next Friday. So he's not, I believe he's not signed yet. There's a big if there. So if he's not signed, if he's sitting in jail or sitting on maybe suspended, and he's not out there getting the reps, and it is Dylan Sampson, and Dylan Sampson does flash. I mean, it's just, he's a good player. I mean, Dylan Sampson
he is.
Was the SEC player of the year last year. He had 22 touchdowns or something, broke a Tennessee record. So this is somebody that I feel like fourth round capital was kind of a steal.
Oh, I agree. I agree. This could be wheels up for Samson. I mean,
Yeah.
this could be his shot,
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as a dynasty standpoint, I mean, you would think Judkins would get another shot at some point,
Yeah.
but I mean, this is the NFL. I mean, quarterback's the most important position, and half the time they don't get another shot. So
Yeah. That's a really good point, to be honest. I mean, it does happen. It is a business. So going to the next bit of news here. Let's talk about Najee Harris, Moss, and this whole superficial eye injury. It's kind of strange, is it?
yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I saw it on Sleeper, and honestly really didn't think anything of it. Obviously there was the rumors and stuff. I mean, Twitter, I haven't really saw anything on it on Twitter. I don't think anybody's really talking about it. And then I know I was cutting the grass listening to Ray G, and he was talking about it, and I was like, man, like maybe this was more serious than I thought. And I know I was talking to you about it pre-show, and you kind of thought the same thing. Like, a firework in the eye doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just being a person, and we've set off fireworks plenty of times. I'm sure every American has. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you look at it for the fact of it, like hitting straight in the eye, I don't, they're being very vague about it. Like they're like, well, he should be ready for the start of the season. I mean, should be. There's just a lot of like, what's the face like? Like, there's no picture. They're keeping it very, very limited information. And I mean, again, for the start of the season, I think you got to be worried because you have a guy like Amari and Hampton, another player that we really, really like the film, gets first round draft capital, nipping on the heels of a guy like Najee Harris, who's been good in the league. We're not going to sit here and shit on Najee Harris, but I mean, we are going to say Najee has been very, very average. He's been reliable. We'll just say that. But a guy that I feel like an Amari and Hampton who could break the game, that could come out and start getting these first looks, and he looks really good. Najee could maybe take the back seat sooner rather than later. So
Yeah, and I caught that. I caught at the end that their training camp starts like already, if not like maybe Monday. I know he said, training camp was like right around the corner.
Yeah,
I caught that at the very end.
Yep, I think rookies will report a little bit sooner, but yeah, like I mean, you need your damn eyes, especially as a running back too. So it's going to be interesting to see, how this all plays out with Najee Harris. And I think a lot of people are just assuming, because I mean, I've been in on Amari and Hampton. I was like, look, if you believe in Amari and Hampton, okay, I understand for best ball. I understand for this year, he's got to fall a little bit, but like, you believe him, you can't really like let Najee Harris kind of be that thing in there for dynasty, because if he's not better than Najee Harris, then he ain't going to be any good. But
No.
and I just think the talent, man, I think he's a very talented back, and he's in a really good system. And I mean, it's just bad news for Najee. Fireworks. This seems like this shit happens every year. Something crazy happens. So yeah, I think Amarian's going to go up, and I mean, I'm just kind of curious to where they're going to go up. That's kind of the thing. Like rookie drafts, of course, he's a top 3 pick usually.
Yeah, I pretty much saw him like 1-2, possibly 1-3. I mean, he was basically a top 3 pick. Obviously, Genty's going 1.
Right.
But like startups, I mean, is he?
That's where.
Yeah, that's where it gets interesting. I don't know where. I've only done a couple startups. I don't know exactly where he's going and if he really has room to, because I don't think he goes still above Genty. I mean, you can't put him above Genty just because of Najee, but I don't know if startups, if he has room to go up at all, or if this is just kind of a trade value, not an ADP value thing.
Right.
So
I'm looking on Keep Trade Cut right now, and it looks like he is going running back 6 right now. So one spot ahead of Bucky, and one behind Achan, which I think you could argue him and Achan personally. And I'm sure in a lot of best ball drafts, he's going to go just a little bit later, just still because he's a rookie. And sometimes rookies do get off to a little bit of a slow start. But yeah, I mean, that's a pretty high price tag. So and I don't hate it. I
And
really don't hate it.
and that last startup that me and you did, he went running back 4.
Running back
That
4.
was in
Wow.
Yeah, now that's in that or the triflex.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And
But
that's
yeah, he
not,
went. But
I
I
mean,
mean, even with the Najee news, that's what I mean. I don't think you can really propel him
right.
any. I don't think this Najee news really propels him really as far as like a ADP value.
Right. Right. I think not. I mean, you kind of had this window to kind of draft him earlier in your fast draft or your underdog or anything like that. And I think now the door is probably closing a little bit even on
Yeah,
that because if Najee, because that's kind of the thing. It is true too. Like if Najee comes out and he's like starts on the pup. I mean, you got tremendous value on Amari and Hampton if you drafted him really where exactly he was going. That's why you kind of got to get in on the news now and get him now because if that does happen, it's too late. Like he's already up there.
yeah, exactly.
So the next little bit of news here I want to mention is the Tristan Wirfs injury here. So yes, he is a lineman, one of the best in the league, and just how this is going to actually impact Tampa Bay because I feel like there's a lot of people that don't really pay attention to like actually how important the line is. I mean, this is kind of a bolster to this Tampa Bay offensive line. This really helps Baker. This helps Mike Evans because I mean Mike Evans needs to get down the damn field. This helps Chris Godwin. This will help everybody. So with him out, and it looks like he's going to get surgery and going to start the first 4 weeks on the pup. How are you valuing some of these Tampa Bay players going forward?
I think if you're doing underdog drafts, I think you have to proceed with caution. Definitely, because I mean, we saw Trent Williams. I mean, look at how many weeks he
Yep.
missed for the 49ers, and like that team looked like a completely different team. I
Yep.
mean, and this is another All-Pro tackle. I mean, he's not just he's not just a Joe Schmo out there. He's not a mediocre left tackle. Like this guy's the staple of the team probably. Like
Yep.
so I mean I don't think it's the end of the world. Like sell Baker Mayfield for anything or sell Bucky, but I mean as far as dynasty, but I mean as far as underdogs and redrafts, I mean I think if you have like a tiebreaker, like if you're like Baker or I don't know. I'm just pulling a name like Justin Herbert, like or
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. Like maybe you do lean the other guys because I
Yeah.
mean, for at least four or 5 weeks, you don't know what you're going to get
Right.
out of the Bucks.
I agree with that too. Like, I think for me is more of obviously like you're saying, like a redraft perspective, a fast draft, anything like that. Um, he's got to take a hit, man. He's got to take a hit. Like I'm telling you right now, I'd rather have Kyler over him. I definitely
Yeah,
would. Like I'd rather have Kyler. I mean, he starts to fall back into that like Brock Purdy-ish tier. I feel like you
yeah,
know going into best ball and everything. So yeah, tough news. Really, really tough news here for Tampa Bay. And I don't know. They're going to have to really find out what they're going to do because do they bring in a veteran? Do they, try to mix and match and see what they can come up with? I mean, it's really hard to be here in July and then you hear your best lineman is going to be out and starting on the pup. And then you don't know is he 100% to come back. I mean,
exactly.
that's something
'Cause, I
else
mean,
you got to kind of consider.
because I mean, that schedule is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely is.
So,
So,
I
yeah,
mean, they could start out 2-4 and they could rush him back, and he might not be 100%.
or and then that brings a risk of re-injury, and that's what's so scary as well because they need, like you said, they got a really tough schedule to start off the season, and if they come out and win 2 or 3 games, this is a team that like we're projecting as a playoff team, Like I am at least.
Exactly.
So some of these games, like look at Cincinnati last year, just missed the playoffs. Guess what they did week 1? They lost to the damn New England Patriots. So like when you lose to the New England Patriots week 1, I mean that right there it is. Like that could have been the game that got you in. So every
Yep.
game is so important in the NFL because it ends up being such a tight race. I mean, obviously a lot of times there's a team that wins just a couple games, but other than that, you look at it, it's like, wow, these guys could get in. These guys could actually get in. So as a Steelers fan, we know too much about that.
Right. Right. So, yeah, as far as dynasty, I don't know how much I'm looking into that, like it as far as like a
No,
dynasty standpoint. I mean, if there
yeah,
is a buying window, I mean, maybe, because I don't think a lot of people look into that kind of stuff, as far as
no,
linemen and stuff. So it's like if Baker Mayfield starts out and he's quarterback 24 at week 3, I mean, maybe there's a buying window on these guys,
yeah, and I'm
you know.
absolutely even as like a partial rebuilder, is like buying him so that way I can use him to throw in another deal or use him if Wirfs does come back and is healthy and they're starting to put up points again. And that's just some kind of like the creative ways you can go about that. Yeah, as a dynasty standpoint, use that information to go out, buy some of these guys on the low. Like one of my favorite buys right now, and even getting him in startups, is Emeka Egbuka. Like I love Egbuka. I
Yeah.
think he's gonna be really, really good. Maybe not year 1, but I feel like here in the very near future, we have an aging Mike Evans. We have a Chris Godwin who still looked really, really good, but obviously had the ankle. I believe he broke his ankle, right? It snapped.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Something.
always whenever you're getting closer to 30 and these kind of injuries are happen, we sit there and we think like, why would they draft Egbuka? Well, I mean, you got 2 guys that have been really successful in the NFL. One is getting, pretty old, and the other one just snapped his ankle. So it actually makes a lot more sense, looking into it. So
Yeah. I agree.
crazy amount of news for July. I mean, that's usually we're kind of really digging the barrel here, but we got some pretty good news. We're definitely going to be keeping an eye on all this stuff, especially this Judkins stuff. Let's see, if any videos do surface or any charges actually do stick here. So he should be in court. We'll see, and I'm sure we'll be talking about that on the next show. Next thing I want to talk about just real quick is a good buddy of mine and Muscles. His dad passed away. Jake, we're thinking of you. We feel so bad. We're praying for you. We're praying for your family, and hang in there, brother. And then I kind of just want to mention real quick, going into the Scott
Oh,
Fish
yeah, for
Bowl
sure.
in Pittsburgh. And Mus, I know you had an invite as well. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it. You had to hold down the fort at work. So I did get to attend that and met so many cool people. I wish you could have went, Mus. You would have had a blast.
I know. I know. I'm hoping next year we both get the invite and can head down. I think that would
Yeah.
have been
Oh,
fun.
it was such a blast. So shout out some of the guys here. Shane, who is with Draft Sharks, he was a host. I mean, he did a tremendous job. There were so many different auctions and everything. Like I know a lot of people pitched in, brought in like I think he donated, I believe it was a DK Metcalf jersey. It was signed. I mean,
Oh, dang.
they had a Minka Fitzpatrick, which I know he left, but they had a pylon that was signed. They had a Jerome Bettis signed jersey, Hines Ward signed jersey, so all kinds of stuff. And if you're not donating to Fantasy Cares, please consider it. It's such a good thing. Like there's so many good people that truly care. I know we ran into Scott Fish before at we were in Canton. Yeah, we were in Canton. We had
Yeah,
to talk with
the
him, and
expo. Yep.
yeah, super nice guy. I mean, you can tell he's a go-getter, really cares about this. And I mean, just seems like he tries to make it better every year, which it's hard to say make it better because it's already great. But I mean, he's just always kind of working on this stuff. Some of the guys I met down there, let's see. I'm in the Pittsburgh Pens division, and not all these guys are in there, but Tim the King Eyes at Geek Mill. These guys were so cool. Austin, I know he's with Fantasy Rewind, super nice guys. So shout out to some of them guys. And if I'm missing you, Uncle Mercy, I know he was there. Oh my God, that guy's so funny. So many good dudes there. So shout out to you guys, and you know, ready to win this Pittsburgh Pens division this year, Moss. I want to bring it home.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Yeah,
got
yeah, I
Josh
think you
Allen
definitely
at
had
the
the right
one.
strategy.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
think so. I think so. I was surprised I got Josh Allen at the 112. Did take CMC at 2-1. We'll see if he still has anything left in that ankle and everything like that. And we're gonna talk about CMC here eventually, and that's what we're gonna get into here is a make or break players, Moss. So
All
what
right.
this is gonna be about is some players that we feel like this could either be their last chance. This may be, as I say, make or break. This might, some of them are going to be safe, right? Like just contract wise, but like, could they go into this realm where they just lose a ton of fantasy value?
Oh,
And
yeah.
and that's what I kind of want to talk about a little bit here today. So the first player, he's a little bit spicy muscles. It's Chris Olave, the New Orleans Saints. So we feel like this is a make or break player for him. I want to kind of get your thoughts on Chris Olave.
Uh, yeah, it's tough. I mean, I wish he just ended up getting dealt. I mean, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
he's stuck in New Orleans. It's kind of, I mean, we obviously all know it's cap hell there. Now they're talking about starting Tyler Shuck, or I think that's how you say his last name, right? I think.
Yeah, it is.
Every time I hear somebody say his name, it's something different, but I've heard Shuck the most. But it's just not good. And then the concussions, obviously, the concussions keep piling on. I mean, is he like going to be like a Tua type thing where like every concussion you're holding your breath that he does come back? So unfortunately, Olave is a guy that I don't have many shares of. I always thought people were way too high on him from the beginning. So, but if it's something like a buy window, I'm definitely, depending on what the price is, a little bit interested. But yeah, I mean, he's going to eventually get out of New Orleans. I feel like he's not destined to be there forever. I believe his rookie contract should be up here this year or next year.
Yeah,
You
he's
would
been in
think.
the league 4 years. So yeah, usually
Yeah,
first round
so
should be 5.
they'll probably renew his 5th-year option. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, but I mean, they'll probably at least renew it to try to deal him or something like that. At least try to recoup some kind of value out of him. But
Yeah.
I don't see his best days being in New Orleans. I see him getting out of New Orleans eventually, and hopefully greener and brighter pastures, as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah, and I think that's the big key, and that's why we're getting him where we're getting Chris Olave. He's a tremendous player, but man, he just cannot stay healthy. The concussions, he's been in the league 40 years. He's had, I believe, 4 concussions. So
Yeah,
I want to say he had 2 last year. I mean, he took a pretty brutal hit. My
yeah,
years start to get all mixed together. Like once you reach a certain age, you're like,
I
was that
know.
last year or the year before? But
I agree.
yeah, that's just a big thing with the Olave. I feel like for me personally, I'm kind of out. Hopefully, I'm like you. I don't really have any shares,
Yeah, I don't.
but if I did, obviously now's probably not the time to sell him if he can not get a concussion. Because that's the one bad thing with concussions is they kind of like seem to come back. Like once you're kind of acclimated to him, but could he have like his teammate who's back, Brandon Cooks? Did he have a Brandon Cooks type of career where like it seems like the concussions are a big issue, but he kind of hangs on and still has enough talent to where he's like, I mean, Brandon Cooks was fantasy relevant for a little bit, but just didn't ever really hit that ceiling of what we thought it would be. So I was looking at Chris Olave here, recent startup that we did. He went 703, which I was like, damn, that doesn't seem horrible, but I drafted Emeka Ibuka behind him. So Olave was
Yeah,
taken before. I would much rather have Ibuka.
I would
So
too.
if that's a trade you can get done, I'm going to look on Keep Trade Cut here. I just kind of want to see where he is. He's wide receiver 30. So would you rather have Terry McLaurin or Chris Olave?
I might gamble on Olave at that point. I mean, Terry, unfortunately, like he's getting older. Like he's a guy that I don't realize how old he is.
Yeah, I think he's like 28 or 29.
Yeah, something
And then they
like
did
that.
bring in D, but like I still love Terry
Oh,
McLaurin,
I
but
do too. I do too. I think
it
I would gamble Olave at that point.
and I don't hate that. McLaurin is one spot behind him on here. DJ Moore.
I think I'm still Olave.
Still Olave. Olave is 2 spots ahead of him as well. George Pickens.
I might gamble Pickens there.
Yep. So I feel like me too. Me too. I'm there as well. See, I think I'm on the other side with you. I think I'd rather have Terry McLaurin. I think I'd rather have DJ Moore.
Okay.
So I mean, he's kind of really appropriately ranked according to KTC. It feels like he's just a player. Like I felt like if I had, I would just love to tear up. Like, what would it take for me to give like Olave if he starts out hot and say Rashee Rice starts out on the pup? Like, say,
Right.
and I don't think he is, but say he were. Could you get that done? I mean, you
Right.
might get a 1-for-1 trade doing that. I mean, it does sound crazy today, but if he is sitting on the bench and Olave is out there putting up a 20-point performance, I mean, here in a couple months, it might not seem that crazy.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So somebody that absolutely could gain some value. And I think that's what I would personally be trying to do is move on from Chris Olave, who is still only 25 years old. So going into the next player here, let's talk about Jalen Waddle. So Jalen Waddle, 26 years old. He's going into year 5. Does have a wide receiver 8 finish throughout his career. Does it seem like Jalen Waddle's a little bit better of a best ball guy, Moss?
Yeah, definitely as of late, I would say. I think I read somewhere where he said this year's the healthiest he's ever felt.
Oh wow, okay.
So I don't know, to what realm that exactly means or what exactly that means, but
Right.
I mean, we know he's battled injuries the last couple years. I'm gonna blame his finishes on that, and obviously the Tua stuff.
Yeah.
And because I mean, we saw him put up wide receiver 1 numbers 2 years in a row, one with Tyreek and one without Tyreek.
Yeah.
So like he has the capability. We know the talent's there. Now I mean, is it one of those where like you hit your talent ceiling and then like you kind of like, okay, this is easy, and one off season you kind of take off, you slouch, you go on vacation a whole bunch, hit buffets, and maybe you're just like, hey, life's easy. I don't know what goes through these guys' mindset or anything like that, or obviously we don't know their personal lives or day-to-day life, but I think some people hit that, and I think it's easy to hit. Like you go in there, you're a rookie. I think he had a decent rookie year. And then the second year, you're a wide receiver 1. The third year, you bring in Tyreek Hill, you're still wide receiver 1. Maybe you went on cruise control for a little bit, and maybe reality's coming back. I like Jalen Waddle. I do. I've always been kind of like a guy that's kind of on the back burner. It's like, man, I hope like this year he comes back. And it hasn't happened yet, but I'm still like one of those where, I read that he's the healthiest he's felt, and da 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 da, and I'm buying back in. I'm gonna fall for it again.
Muss buying back into that damn Jalen Waddle. And I kind of halfway agree with you because like he is very talented.
Yeah,
he really is. I like him for best ball. Like you look at some of these finishes, like okay, so his rookie year he was wide receiver 13, so just outside of it. And then he goes into 2022 with Tyreek Hill, of course, finishes wide receiver 8. So, like, even though the targets and stuff weren't there, the yards per catch were really nice. Like, he was putting up big performances. The bad thing with him is, like, looking at some of the finishes, like, okay, he goes 5 for 109 against Jacksonville, then 4 for 41, 4 for 26, 4 for 36. Like,
yeah.
But then he goes off the 8 for 144. Like, it's just kind of always been a Jalen Waddle game. And it just, I think what really hurt him, and we didn't pay enough attention to it, was Devon Achane. Like, when
Yeah,
they drafted Devon Achane, he's super efficient. He does get a ton of touchdowns. Like, I don't want to say he gets a ton of touchdowns, but he gets a lot of dump offs, and just that's how he gets his big games. And I just don't know with Jonnu being gone. I think Achane's probably the main beneficiary of this. I think what we have to ask ourselves and this is another guy that's on the list, does 31-year-old Tyreek Hill still have it?
right.
Because it almost does seem like it's Tyreek Hill when Tua's healthy, of course, Devon Achane, and it seems like Waddle has taken that not just second, but now third step back. So like, I'm really, really interested in best ball drafts. As far as dynasty, I think I'm still 1 foot in because like I don't love betting on guys like is Tyreek Hill an outlier, which absolutely positively could be, but like he's had his own character concerns. He, hasn't been the cleanest bill of health as of late. So like it's just kind of where you want to put your chips. And I just don't really know. I want to believe in Waddle because like we're always trying to find the next Tyreek Hill, right? Like
Right.
everybody's like, oh, this guy's the next Tyreek Hill. This guy's the next Puka Nakua. Like, but if there was anybody that is the next Tyreek Hill, I do feel like Jalen Waddle does kind of fit that build pretty well. Like he's super fast, like has really good hands. Maybe not as good after the catch personally, but like I do think he could operate as a number one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see Miami take a step forward as a team, I
Yeah.
think, in order for Waddle to really like hit his stride too. I mean, Tua's gotta stay healthy, and
Yeah.
like you said, Achan. I think Jalen Wright's gonna have a nice role.
I do too. I
Um,
I like Jalen Wright a lot. Like I think this is a year for him. No Mostert. Like, okay, you're going into year two. That like I didn't put him. I kind of put this whole Miami on this list. Uh I know it's only year two for Wright, but it could be a make or break year for him where like
very well could.
if he doesn't do anything this year, they might just draft another running back. So
Yeah, if he comes out looks like Blake Corum, I don't think they'll
oof,
really have any problem
no.
drafting another running back. But
No, well, let's just talk about Tyreek Hill as we're on here, and we're going to talk about Tua. But like, Tyreek Hill still finished as wide receiver 18, but if you look into it, points per game, he was wide receiver 33 in points per game. So
jeez,
big drop off for Tyreek Hill, man. Like, and that's how you can kind of get people sometimes. They get on sleeper and they see, okay, he's in the greenish yellow of wide receiver 18. But whenever you really break it down and see wide receiver 33, it's like, well, wide receiver 33 is what I seen while watching the Miami Dolphins play. Now, I won't say it's all Tyreek Hill's fault because I went to the 33rd team. Shout out to them. They put up some stats. So looking at EPA per drop back. Now, this is with Tua, all right? 0.15, it was tied for third in the league. 5.5% pass to touchdown attempts, that was third. 8.2 yards per attempt, that was second. A 101.5 quarterback rating, I believe that was first. So you look at that, 67.2% completion, that was top five. Okay, now this is without Tua. Negative 0.25 EPA per dropback. That was 32nd, so last in the league. 2.5% pass to touchdown attempt, 30th. 6.6 yards per attempt, 25th. 74.1% quarterback rating, last in the league. And the completion percentage was 29th in the league at 60.2%. So we sit here all the
yeah,
time. We shit on Tua. I mean, I think the whole community does. And I'm not saying Tua's great, but they need to figure out something up as a backup because Tua, going into him here for a second, he's only seen one complete healthy season since 2020. So
yeah,
every year he misses time. And then I think the backup now is Quinn Ewers, who is like the worst. Like he fits this offense so bad. It's unbelievable. He fit the Texas offense so bad. I think that's what really, hurt Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell, Matthew Golden. I mean, I know Isaiah Bond didn't get drafted, which he had some legal problems, but like all these guys are big time speedsters, and Quinn Ewers' arm is not that strong. So, and I know Tua's isn't as well, but like the accuracy with Tua and just how he comes into this offense, they need to figure out something else for a backup.
Oh, they do. I've been saying that. I think I said that on the DNA show for years. It's like I don't understand like why they can't go out and just get a half decent. Like I'm not even saying like a good you don't have to go out and spend like Kirk Cousins money on a Kirk Cousins backup, but like I don't know. Like they don't draft like a decent backup. They don't like Jalen Milroe, I think would have fit that system fairly decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, speedster guy, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the front office really thinks there sometimes. I think they just, I mean, you have a quarterback that only plays half the games most of the time, and
Yeah.
it's like they don't care to, fill that backfill that role.
Right. I don't get it at all. It's like you guys there's always some good guys out there and you got to kind of pay them. So their backup, here's their backups right now. I didn't know they had this. They have Zach Wilson. Do we really believe in Zach Wilson?
No.
Like, I just don't get that. Then it's Quinn Ewers and Blaine Gabbert, but like we've seen the Tyler Huntley. I did not think Tyler Huntley fit that offense well at all. I thought that was bad.
Skylar Thompson, like it's just it was terrible, man.
Yep, it absolutely was. I think who they should have went out and got as a backup, Sam Howell. I mean, I know he's with Minnesota, but that would have been perfect. I think he has a strong arm. He has that gunslinger mentality, and I think he can still operate as a backup quarterback. But
absolutely.
So,
I think I would have fit a lot better than Zach Wilson. But
yeah,
I mean, hey, these first round quarterbacks sometimes have a resurgence. So
yeah,
I think it's a little too late for Zach Wilson, but
yeah, I don't have much hope for him.
I don't either.
He spent time in Denver too, right?
Yeah, and Sean Payton didn't really make him look good. So if Sean Payton don't make you look good,
it's definitely not looking good. Now I will say with Tua, he's locked in to Miami till 2027. But I mean, you've seen how easily it was to replace Kirk Cousins. I mean, they shocked the world, took Michael Penix. Wouldn't shock me, if Miami, if they're bad this year, maybe they do draft somebody and give them a year to sit, and Tua becomes a very you gotta do it now type player, or either that or he's gonna be traded. I mean, look, Jared Goff's traded. These guys get traded so fast or cut or just flat out benched.
Now, do you think Tua's value is right where it needs to be, or do you think he's still pretty low? Because I don't know where he's at on keep trade cut, but it just seems like in startups and stuff, it just seems like he's pretty low. But I mean, I get the skepticism. I do.
He is low because, like, I remember I drafted him in a super flex. I can't remember which one that we did. I believe you were in it too. But like Alvin Kamara went and I took Tua. I was like, this is tremendous value in my opinion that like I'm willing to swing. I'll look on keep trade cut. Now, the reason why we use keep trade cut basically is like, it seems like it's a community, it's free. And I mean, obviously we're not sponsored by them or nothing, but like, it just seems like this is good information, what people are trying to bring in. So I like to kind of see where a lot of other people are. So he is valued as quarterback 25. Okay.
That's crazy.
That does seem too low. So I'll ask you this. Would you rather have Tua or Justin Fields?
Tua.
Tua or Jackson Dart?
Tua.
Tua or Bryce Young?
Tua.
Tua or Dak Prescott?
That I might lean Dak.
I would lean Dak too. But let me tell you this. So Tua is 25, Fields is 24, Jackson Dart is 23, Bryce Young is quarterback 20.
Jeez.
Yeah. If you're getting, that's just a gamble though. Like if you're getting a guy that is healthy, he's gonna put up some numbers. It's just you need that availability. I just personally don't really believe in Bryce. I don't want to say too much because we're going to be talking about a couple of these guys, I guess. But like, Yeah, man, I think he is a little bit undervalued, and if somebody's taken some of these other players like a running back who's 29, or I think Cortland Sutton was right around there too. Like, I give me Tua, man. Like, if he
Yeah.
shows anything, I can even still move on. I feel like, and I can put the chips on something else.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it from a Tua perspective. It's like, let's say he does come out and has a couple 30-point games. I think I say this all the time. Like, he has a couple 30-point games, you can get, maybe a first plus for him.
Yeah.
Alvin Kamara, I mean, even if Alvin Kamara comes out and has a couple 30-point games, which, I don't know if he will with that Saints, but like if he does, you're probably still struggling to get a first, maybe even plus, because
Oh yeah.
people are looking at that age.
Yep. People look at that age.
Cortland Sutton, I mean, he had a good year last year, and I was struggling to get a second for him on contending teams, or on rebuilding teams,
Yep.
that I had Cortland Sutton. I'd be like, oh, second. People were like, oh, like,
Yeah.
you realize how old he is? And I'm like, well, wide receiver. He's like a wide receiver 2 right now.
And that's just sometimes the old fashioned, like, you're just worth more on my team. I'll just
Oh
go to
yeah.
the end.
Yep. Yep.
So I
So
I got Tua in a super flex at the 8-5. So Kamara went a pick ahead. Mark Andrews went 2 picks ahead. Tyreek Hill and
oh
Mike Evans.
my.
Like, I would still take Tua over all them guys personally. Like, there was nobody there that I really liked. I'm like, well, I like, that's what I like to do. If I'm in that position where when I'm drafting and I'm just like older running back, maybe a receiver that's kind of like, we'll see what happens. Give me the quarterback. I'll just put my
Yep.
chips there because I can always move them, for somebody that's gonna possibly gain some value. Or I'll just take the value and, just take the points that he gives me.
Absolutely agree.
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the next player here, Moss. And it is going to be Christian McCaffrey here at 29 years old. Only played them 4 games last year. And we got to see where it was really unfortunate in the Buffalo game. He was starting to look pretty good. It was like, okay, McCaffrey's back. Even a couple games before that, we were seeing him kind of get his legs underneath him. Then he just slid to the ground. And the whole world, I felt the gas throughout this whole Pennsylvania state went,
Yeah.
where he slid to the ground. It was really unfortunate, and I believe that ended up being a PCL injury. But do you remember whenever we were talking about Christian McCaffrey last year, where he was going to start off on the pup and he wanted to go to Germany because he needed a procedure done? So we never got full context of what it was. It almost seemed like a procedure that didn't, like, nobody in the United States wanted to do. Like, he was almost in desperation mode. So my question is to you, Muscles, how do you feel about Christian McCaffrey going into this year?
Man, it's just like, on one hand, I want to believe and think that he's going to be fine. And
I know.
he's Christian McCaffrey. Then on the other hand, I mean, unfortunately, you were the receiving end of this. I'm just getting Todd Gurley vibes. Where, I mean, I remember one of the very first fantasy football trades I did was with you, and I got Todd Gurley to win a championship. And by God, I won a championship. But then, like, that off season, it was like,
Yep.
that was it. And then he kind of walked away and never came back because of his arthritis. So. I mean, I just kind of, like, I got PTSD, I guess you could kind of say, from that. Because this just, like you said though, like the whole Germany thing, like, that's kind of scary. Like, it's kind of like desperation. Like,
Yeah.
why are you going to Germany? Like, so it's, I don't know. And then it's coming out that, I read somewhere where, like, he's kind of got arthritis thing going on or something like that.
The end's
And
coming. The end's coming. We just don't know when it's going to fall out.
exactly. So I don't know. Like, on one hand, I want to believe that it's going to be okay because Christian McCaffrey is a unicorn. But
Yeah.
then again, Todd Gurley was an absolute monster too.
Yeah.
So
Nobody's beat Father Time. That's one thing I'll always
no.
say. And for some reason, it seems like when you play Dynasty, when they see the 3 in the age, everybody's like, I'm out. I'm out.
Yep.
Jump on him.
Yep.
Like, and he still has that 2 there. So it's like, I feel like from a Dynasty perspective, if you have him It's going to depend on league to league, right?
It
Like
is. It
if
is.
if you have him and he's off to a hot start and you don't think you're going to make it, I think you move off of him and you try whatever. I'm not saying take anything, but if you can get a first or you can get
Yeah.
a guy that's starting off slow, or like I think a good move that a guy that might start off a little slow is RJ Harvey. I really like RJ Harvey. I think J.K. Dobbins coming in does take some of the work from him. So like he might be off to a slow start, but a guy I want to invest in, I know he's a little bit older as well, but that is could be in a really nice role in a Sean Payton offense. Like maybe that's something you can get done. Maybe you can go after a receiver like Emeka Ibuka, who I'll keep
That's what
mentioning
I was
here
just
on
gonna say. Yep. Yep.
that could be off to a slower start. So like I think that's the play. Now I gambled hardcore in the Scott Fish Bowl. Like that's how you have to win these damn things. You gotta, make the decision that, you know, you're gonna have to do stuff that's uncomfortable, right? Like
Right.
I'm not trying to get second. I'm trying to win this damn thing. And if he can give me any kind of production that is semi what he has done in the past, I have a good chance. I have a good chance with that pick. So I'm kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I do want some and this is kind of more of a best ball player, I feel like, right? Like, how do we feel for the upcoming season? And I think it's a guy that I definitely want in my portfolio. I'm not going to be fully exposed because I know the risk, but the reward is damn nice if he does hit it.
Right. Right. Yeah, and
So,
definitely it's like it's risky as a rebuilder. Like, I mean, if you're in a rebuilder dynasty, it's a risky move. Because like you said at the beginning, it is very league to league. There are some owners that are panicked, like
yeah,
complete full on panicked. Like I've seen them go for seconds. Like
yeah.
I think for a second I'd take a gamble on them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But like there are still owners that maybe aren't panicked. So I
Yep.
think this is a good if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, like definitely go out and like start a conversation because if you can get them for a second, I have seen them go for a second, and that's
Yep.
I think a steal.
Yep. And that's something we were talking about the ranks when we did ranks before, like, before he even got hurt. That's what's so hard with ranking these guys sometimes is like, you get some of these young guys in here and they tear their ACL, they can recover much quicker. They don't lose
Yep.
as much value. I don't even want to say a name because I don't want to put it to fruition, but like, you know, Amari and Hampton, he goes out,
Yep.
tears his, he's still gonna hold value. We've seen it with Brees Hall. You get some of these older guys, I feel like it's just playing with fire. I feel like
It is.
McCaffrey, it probably is playing with fire, and I drafted him in Scott Fish. I'm probably gonna get burned, but I told myself, I was like, because my picks were gonna be I wanted Derrick Henry or like if a Trey McBride fell, which he didn't, in the scoring format. I was going one of them guys, and I was going Devon Achane. When
Yeah.
Josh Allen fell at 112, it's like I have to take Josh Allen. Now I have to decide if Christian McCaffrey or Devon Achane. And I'm thinking, well, I couldn't forgive myself when I'm sitting there watching San Francisco football on Eastern time at 4 o'clock and McCaffrey's tearing it up. And I'm sitting there like, I knew what to do.
Right. Right.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
it's just a gamble, and you just got to kind of ride the roller coaster. And that's how you're going to get value. And if you don't want to ride that roller coaster, you just want out. eh,
I get it.
I
I
get
get
it
it.
too. I get it too because
Yep.
there are some people like I don't want to touch them. I want zero Christian McCaffrey. I'm not there. I'm not zeroed. So
No. No.
okay, the next guy that we're going to talk about, another very make or break player, maybe the biggest one on the list. It's Anthony Richardson. Muscles. Do you have any faith in Anthony Richardson?
See, that's tough. I do, and it's probably foolish. But I just I think as he matures, he's a very young guy. I mean, you saw it last year when he took himself out of the game and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
But I think as he matures, and he's not a very good thrower. We all know this. He might never be a good NFL quarterback. Like I don't he might never be, but I think for fantasy wise, I think you have to be at least 1 foot in. I I mean, look, I mean, a lot of times he was a quarterback, like top 12 quarterback on the week, and he would have under 100 yards throwing. know,
Yeah.
like he's just not going to be a good NFL quarterback. Like he's not. If I was starting a franchise today, I'd want no part of him.
Yep.
But on a fantasy football roster, yeah, give me a shot on him.
I see, and I think that's where I'm trying to head into a different direction because I feel like I've said that so many times to where it's like if he's a better fantasy player than he is like an NFL quarterback, and I think this could be the end for Anthony Richardson because I mean it is complete make or break because if he comes out here and starts and he's bad, Shane Steichen's probably fired, number one. So they're
Yeah,
definitely moving on. And then you have the risk of like, does anybody even want him? Because he has attitude problems, number one.
right.
Number two, the injuries, because like he can run the football, but he's another player that like he's huge. He's what, 240 pounds, tore the combine up, but like, dude's made of glass.
He
Like he's
is.
always hurt. So like I can't like okay, you had a 47% completion percentage last year. So you can't throw the ball. And anytime you run the ball, you seem like you're hurt. I just think muscles, I think I'm out. I think I'm out.
Okay. I don't blame you.
I swung the bat. We talked about it. We said, hey, we're swinging the bat. We swung, we struck out, and I think it's over. But on the counter side, I will say we do see guys like Justin Fields still get a chance. We still see some, even the next guy we're going to talk about that's on the roster, Daniel Jones, who's been absolutely horrible, still
Yeah.
get another chance. So, like, there is a possibility this guy does get another chance. Like we talked about this Miami offense. I think Anthony Richardson would actually fit it pretty well.
I be honest, I was just sitting there thinking that, like, maybe he goes down to Miami and backs up to like.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
just
think
hate.
that would be horrible.
No, I don't think it would be horrible. I just hate playing the game of like, well, what
Yeah,
if?
what ifs?
If
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
them
you
are on
can't.
an island where we get screwed every time. But like, it is fun to think that like we are a dynasty podcast. We do like to kind of like be like, hey guys, what
What if
if
this
this
guy
happens?
goes here? Yeah, what if that guy goes there?
From a betting standpoint, it's a bad bet. But like
It
from
is.
to have some fun, it's fun. Like right, like, you got to
Yeah.
try to have some fun with it. So it would be a really nice spot. Him going to Miami. But I think for me personally, I'm probably out on Anthony Richardson. And we'll just talk about Daniel Jones real quick as well. So obviously Daniel Jones comes in here, is going to be fighting for this job. I think Daniel Jones has pretty good value right now because I think he probably does win this job
Yeah.
personally, but like I don't really have faith in Daniel Jones either. Like I'm a little bit of a closet New York Giants fan. Anybody that's listened to me before, and Daniel Jones is just not. He's no damn good either. But is there any way that you feel like Daniel Jones can he win this job? And number one, then number two, do you think is this better for the receivers? Is this better for the supporting cast of the Indianapolis Colts?
I mean, I definitely think it's a little better. I mean, listen, we saw Daniel Jones get killed in New York. I
Yeah.
mean, I think the line is going to be a little bit better for him, and obviously we do like Shane Steichen.
Mhm.
So I think this is one of Daniel Jones's best opportunities he's probably had, arguably. But we saw the highs of Daniel Jones, we saw the lows of Daniel Jones. Boy, were the lows just put a bad taste in your mouth. Like
Yeah.
it's hard to sit here and envision a world where Daniel Jones comes out of this smelling like roses, but we do have to remember that it is Shane Steichen and it is a better line because I remember watching the Giants on prime time. I mean, Daniel Jones had like 9 sacks or 10 sacks that one game.
Yeah.
Like he was getting killed. I mean, it's hard to keep your morale up when when you're just getting killed every snap. Like I mean,
is.
how much are you trying? How much do you really like? How much are you into it? Like how much are you like have a positive outlook on your whole entire life when it's like you're snapping the ball and there's somebody right there in your face.
Right.
So I know I've seen you make a lot of these moves and I like it. Like if you can get Daniel Jones for fourth, if you can get Daniel Jones, for I think a late third kind of pushing it, but I mean I don't mind the gamble.
Or just even a throw-in piece. People are starting to get
Yeah.
on that. I was trading like even like 20, 26, 27 thirds, like maybe not
Yeah.
this year. And I'm not even against this year because I think the value does go up. I think I have a hard time giving up a second. I know some people will. It just kind of depends league to league because here's the thing: is Daniel Jones ever worth a first?
Probably not anymore.
I don't think he is either because you look at like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold had a hell of a year in Minnesota, and people were still like, "Do I want to give up a first?"
Right.
And I don't think Daniel Jones is going to come anywhere close to what Sam Darnold did. But I do. This is something that's more common. Sam Darnold got another chance and made the best of it. Geno Smith a couple years ago got a chance, made the best of it. Baker Mayfield got a chance and made the
Yep.
best of it. So I mean, crazier things have happened. So like, as much of a possibility it is, I just have a hard time seeing Daniel Jones being the future for the Colts. I don't think they're on the roster, but I do think there's value that we can dissect and get out of this. So before we go to the next player here, I want to talk about the Fantasy Football Power Hour sponsor, and that is Fast Draft. So if you're watching Muscles and Eyes, beautiful faces, you get to see the rabbit up in the corner.
I
And
like that rabbit.
I know that rabbit is badass. So like you're gonna check out Fast Draft. It's recently been legal in PA, so very good news for us. We've been in there, and if you use the promo code POWER, they will match you up to $50. So you're probably saying, well, this is a dynasty show. You're not talking much best ball, but guess what? You can draft a rookie still as well in the Origins tournaments where, we love to talk rookies. We're a dynasty show. We like to talk all players, Moss, but like I think it's so neat that you can go in there and do rookie drafts and, kind of put your money where your mouth is. You can get maybe, get Amari and Hampton a little bit sooner before people really, really react. Get that Dylan Sampson, if you think Quinshon Judkins is going to be out. If you're on the counter side of that and you think Quinshon Judkins is going to get just a little bit of a hand slap, maybe you can find value there. So go over to Fast Draft, use the promo code POWER. They will match you up to $50 if you are a first-time depositor. That is Fast Draft, promo code POWER HOUR. Muscles, next guy we're going to talk about here, guy that we really, really liked, got first-round drafts capital, but just hasn't lived up to it, is Rich's guy from Dynasty Dogs, Dalton Kincaid, Muscles. So this is a player that I feel like is in a great spot, just hasn't shown up. How do you feel about Dalton Kincaid?
Man, he's a tough one. He really is. Like he should have. Like I feel like Buffalo's trying to find the guy, and they just can't. I don't know why they don't go out and get a top alpha receiver. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the not being able to block just really hurts them. I think it does. I mean, obviously we see Dawson Knox go out there and he's the blocker, and then obviously you can't just completely give away your scheme when you take Dawson Knox off the field and throw Dalton Kincaid in there, because then you know what's coming. So then we see Dawson Knox snipe touchdowns sometimes. It's just Kincaid has all the talent in the world as a receiving tight end, and he very well could take a step forward. It's hard. It's hard when you can't be on the field. Every play.
Soft, between. So like, and that's a big thing that like we talked about in the Dynasty Dogs show with Mike and Rich. I was like, we were kind of talking a little bit of Loveland and then some of them guys. It's like, I said, I've been really thinking about this. If you're not a good blocker, because a lot of people are like, if you're a good blocker, it kind of sucks because, you're going to be asked to block. But at the counter argument is if you're not a good blocker, you might not be on the field as much.
Exactly.
So like, and if you're not on the field, especially in play action where these guys get, I don't want to say cheap touchdowns, but like a lot of times these guys, you'll see Dawson Knox wide open because everybody's expecting a James Cook run or, a Josh Allen. He's very mobile himself. Dalton Kincaid isn't on the field. And it's like, damn, that really, really sucks and kind of takes the opportunity away because, if he catches 5 passes for 50 yards, that's 10 points. And you just got sniped, 7 more because Dawson Knox caught a 1-yard touchdown.
Yep.
So, yeah, that kind of sucks. And then whenever you're dealing with soft tissue injuries, it's always seems like a soft tissue injury. And sometimes them just linger and linger and linger. But what I will say is Buffalo had the second highest scoring offense. And we're trying to find a guy here that's going to come in here and put up points for a fantasy team. Khalil Shakir did a good job last year. I think Khalil Shakir is another great value. Seems like a lot of people are betting on Keon Coleman, who I wasn't as high on in the film. Had an okay rookie year. I mean, probably a little bit better than I even expected, but still wasn't nothing real great or flashy. I kind of want to finally put my chips here on Dalton Kincaid. Like I think I'm to the point here where I'm like, okay, I'm willing just to bet on the put up or shut up, and I think this is a big year for him to come in here and prove that, like, hey, you guys drafted me in the first round. Sometimes these tight ends do take 3 years, so
They do, and I think when we were talking about him, I looked him up, and he had a like end of the year last year better than I thought. I guess he really didn't. Yeah, wild card game against Denver, he did have 10 points, 3 catches for 47 yards. Detroit, a week 15, he did have a tight end 14 performance, but yeah, he only had last year 3 tight end 1 performances.
yeah, like then I'm looking on Keep Trade Cut, he's tight end 10, so, like, which I don't think's horrible, like
No,
Tucker Kraft's right there, Isaiah Likely, like, I mean, okay, you can make a case, I think, either way for a lot of them guys, so I this is an offense that we need to try to find the value. I think if I'm gonna put chips on somebody, I think I will on Kincaid just because it is a good offense. This isn't like not to shit on Cleveland, but like a Cleveland offense. I'll just use my own example, a Pittsburgh offense. Like, okay, Pittsburgh's offense really isn't anything special, like where you want to gamble on. So
right,
I,
right.
I think if there's value to find, we gotta work into a Buffalo offense where James Cook had a ton of touchdowns last year as well.
And I was gonna say, I think almost James Cook. I mean, if we remember, like back years and years, like Buffalo never had a running game. Like
Yeah.
that's what we always said. Like, oh, that's what Buffalo's missing is kind of a running game.
Yep.
And then they drafted Kincaid, and then they drafted James Cook. Like maybe without James Cook, Kincaid's a little bit better. But
Yeah.
I think James Cook's sniping a lot of touchdowns too.
Yeah, he absolutely is, and that's why I'm kind of betting on him to take a little bit of a step back. James
Yeah.
Cook had 16 touchdowns last year.
Oh yeah.
So, I think there's
Yeah, it
gonna
was
be some
crazy.
regression. There's some regression there, and, if I'm gonna take some regression there, if Kincaid can get 4 of them or, and then plus put up a couple more on his own, like, very, very possible. So, I
Yeah.
don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. We got another tight end to talk about here, Kyle Pitts. So going over Kyle Pitts here, a guy that was, his rookie year. I don't know if it was rookie year or the year after. He was a first round startup pick for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
A guy that, like, I didn't really have many shares. Well, I didn't have any at that time, but like, throughout I was like, okay, he's starting to get more affordable, but still didn't show anything. But I feel like there's still some people on that island that are like, okay, Michael Penix is now at the helm. Is there any chance for him? I feel like personally, if there's any chance for him, it's probably not in Atlanta. This is something that we had talked about before too, Muscles, that like, everybody loves Bijan Robinson. Everybody loves Drake London. Everybody loves Kyle Pitts. Not all these guys are going to hit their ceiling. And
Yep.
we kind of put our chips on Bijan and Drake London, which were the right choices. And London's starting to get really steamed up here as well. And we've seen at the end of the year, Michael Penix just loved to target Drake London. I think the last 3 games he had like almost 40 targets. So
Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, he really, really was just targeting that number 1 guy. I think for me, Kyle Pitts, if anything happens, it just isn't in Atlanta, man. I think it's gonna have to be somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. When I went on Dynasty Dog Mike's and Rich's show, I mean, he was a sell for me. I unfortunately got bit hard by the Kyle Pitts snake there. It was, I drafted a lot of them thinking he was going to be like how Brock Bowers turned out.
Yeah.
And it's just, not good. So I'm hoping like the new home height kind of gives him a little bit of steam again.
Yeah, and it should be. I don't think Atlanta's going to keep him around personally.
No.
I think the best thing for him, he's going to have to go to a coach that can really help him develop a little bit more. So, which the hype would go unreal if he was a Kansas City Chief, like he went in there to Andy Reid. And I'm not just saying that from like a perspective of like, okay, I'd really like to see him with Patrick Mahomes. It's more of just a coach that's like, hey, we got to try this. We got to do this. We got to get creative with Kyle Pitts.
Oh
So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
unfortunately, he falls into that like can't block
Yep.
category. And he's almost like too big to be a good slot and almost too little to be like a good blocking tight end. Like, I just don't really have much hope for him. I'm not buying him. I think I have him on one team. I mean, I'd sell him for the right price, and I don't think anybody really in this league wants him because I've put him on the block plenty of times. I've been offered like a third. I'd rather just keep him for that.
Yep. Yep. I
So,
agree.
league to league thing. The next tight end I want to talk about real quick, Mark Andrews. So, Mark Andrews. We were in a panic last year because Mark Andrews was a buy for me last year. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I think Mark Andrews is a guy here. Didn't realize Derrick Henry would hurt him like he did, and he did. But not only Derrick Henry hurt him, it was Isaiah Likely that really hurt him because we came out week 1 and we got to see them face the Kansas City Chiefs, where Isaiah Likely was the one that took off, and it was not Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews, what really saved his butt last year, he had 11 touchdowns, which is hard to believe that Mark Andrews ended up finishing. I think he was like tight end
Tight end
6.
6. Yep. I
Yeah.
just looked it up just right now.
So Harbaugh said, quote unquote, his lack of snaps was due to the style of play that they were running. And there was a game where Mark Andrews only ran 4 routes. So actually, I think there was a couple games where he only ran like 4 routes. But by the end of the year, he ran the most routes for a tight end. So like they completely flipped everything towards the end. He ended up having like an 88% share of like running snaps. So it was weird, very, very weird and slow start to a very like, touchdowns really saved him. And then he ended up dropping that ball against Buffalo in the playoffs.
Yep.
So
Yep.
like that kind of sticks in people's heads. And it just really did seem like when Isaiah Likely was on the field, he just looked better in my opinion. So how do you feel about Mark Andrews? Are you gonna put your foot back in and draft some Mark Andrews, or is he a guy you're kind of fading?
I think it all depends on. I mean, like you said, the last thing in people's mouths is the drop touchdown.
Yeah.
And I honestly was, as soon as you said Mark Andrews, I looked it up and saw that he was tight end 6. I would have never guessed he finished that high.
No, I
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't have. So like as soon as I saw that, I was like, maybe I am back in it at value. I mean, I haven't done. We did do a startup there. I can't tell you where he went, but I think for the right price, I think I almost am talking myself back in. I was completely out,
Yeah,
but
I was too, and I was surprised by that too. The touchdowns really helped him, which is weird because Derrick Henry, with all of his touchdowns and everything, but the counterpoint might have helped him a little bit on play action and stuff. But
yeah,
I just, man, I mean, he's 29. Yeah, Isaiah Likely, and that's another thing. Like, if you have Isaiah Likely, it's like, when does this happen? Like, is it gonna
yeah,
happen? I don't know. So it's a very strange situation.
it is.
I really don't have any Andrews. I was that scared. Um, I think I'm more on the out part just because, like, just by my eyes watching, I'm like, you can tell Isaiah Likely is the better
Oh
option.
man, yeah, yeah,
But at the same time, it's just like, does he ever go away? It's almost like the Rashad White and the Bucky Irving, where it's like, my eyes tell me Bucky Irving's way better than Rashad White, but it's like Rashad White's still that thorn, and I think probably going to be that thorn, at least for a little bit for Bucky Irving. And it might be the same way with these Baltimore tight ends. So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I think
I'm
so.
very, very like just, I mean, obviously, if he falls to a certain spot, you take him, but like, I definitely don't want to overpay for him.
No, no, I'm not either. I'm looking like value. Like
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing, like, if you do have Mark Andrews, you can't really trade him
Mm-mm.
because, like, he's one of them players that's probably gonna sit on your roster until it's just over. Like I'm looking on Keep Trade Cut, Isaiah Likely is ahead of him. So, like, and I'm not saying that that's a wrong thing to do, but it's like, as far as we know, he's a number 2.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
think, like, let me ask you this, would you trade Mark Andrews for Isaiah Likely straight up?
I probably would. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and
I
that's
I would get. You mean I get Isaiah Likely?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I would.
yeah, and I mean that is how it's ranked on there. But as far as we know, and we feel that Mark Andrews is going to probably be the number 1 guy. So I
Yep.
just didn't really like Harbaugh saying that. Now, another thing, I do think Mark Andrews wasn't he in like an auto accident or something?
Yes.
So
Yes.
like,
Going into the year.
so was he hurt? Like there might have been a big possibility where he's hurt, and they're just trying to blame it on game script and stuff too. This might be a big miss for me if I don't draft any Mark Andrews. To be honest, it really might.
Yeah, like I said, it completely took me by surprise when I saw tight end 6 because I remember the start of the year last year. I mean, it was grim.
We were
You
in
know.
the community is a full out panic.
Yeah.
F this guy, blah blah blah, everything like that. So
Yep.
sorry if you can hear there is whistles going off.
I
So
heard that. Yeah.
it's being a little bit crazy. I'm gonna go to the next guy. I'll mute myself, Moss. Let you talk about him here. It's gonna be Travis Etienne. So let me get your thoughts on Travis Etienne, Moss.
Oh man, it's tough on Travis Etienne because now we got a new regime in there. Cohen. But I think he's got all the talent in the world. Like just that burst is just crazy. Like it's like the Mario Kart burst. It's just like sometimes he gets the ball in his hand, he's gone. But they just did not seem to really want to use him last year, and that was it was just mysterious. I can't find another word for it. Now they do bring in Tootin this year. I think that hurts Tank Bigsby more than it hurts ETN, but it does scare me that they're bringing in more backs and stuff because I mean does Tootin eventually take over for ETN? I mean I don't think that right now at this moment, but we just never know. It's always one of those where it's in the back of my head, but it's always scary when new regimes come in because the new regime drafted their guy in Tootin, and we never know the direction that they do actually legitimately want to go. So
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, I think for me, he's more of like I think he's really valuable right now. People are really, really disappointed in Travis Etienne.
yeah,
So like I'm in at cost because like in a Liam Cohen offense where I feel that what he did with Tampa Bay, could he redo it here in Jacksonville, right?
right.
I think there's a lot of passes to be caught by these running backs. We know we can catch passes. Tootin had some fumbling issues as well. We've already seen that in OTAs and everything. So I'm in. I got him really late in the Scott Fish Bowl, honestly. I want to see where I got him real quick. He was definitely a little bit later for Rome pick.
Yeah, I know last year, like you could get them for a second almost all day long.
I
And
did. I got a lot of them for a second.
Yeah, that was a steal.
Does it almost feel like one of these guys are going to be moved as well?
Yeah, yeah.
I almost feel like that too. And I think it might be Tank, in my opinion, that gets moved. But if it's ETN, I'm not saying I hate that either.
No.
I got him, and you got to remember this scoring really helps these pass catching running backs and in volume type running backs. I got him at the 901.
Wow.
So I felt like
Yeah.
that was pretty good value. I'll swing there. I will take him for a second because I mean a lot of these second round guys, like I know Cam Scatterbo is somebody that I do like, but like it's going to be harder with the Giants yet. Like Tyrone
Right.
Tracy has looked okay. I still think Scatterboo eventually takes that backfield, but like I'm fine if you want Travis Etienne for that. I think that's not bad. So yeah, any second round pick, and a lot of my seconds were later. So I mean, you're looking like Jack Beshes and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
I like Travis Etienne. Think he's a pretty good value, but I do think he's starting to teeter totter where there's a good groups of backs that are coming in that it will be a little bit harder for him. The next guy is going to be pretty controversial here, Justin Fields. Okay, so we know he's with Pittsburgh, and we were kind of excited about it, Moss. We weren't
Yeah, I
so excited.
was.
We weren't so excited about Russell Wilson, and I think we even said like, "Hey, we might buy Justin Fields jerseys here, like Pittsburgh jerseys." But he had little flashes. I felt like with Pittsburgh, but in an Arthur Smith offense, I felt like they wouldn't take the training wheels off with him.
No.
They really, really compacted everything into running low A dot stuff. This whistle's going off again. Sorry, guys that are listening, but let me get your thoughts on Justin Fields, Moss.
Yeah, I'm actually. I think I'm gonna get bit by the snake once again. I'm in on Justin Fields. I think I think what I said about Anthony Richardson. I think we could say the same thing about Justin Fields. It's like maybe he's not the best NFL quarterback. Maybe he's not gonna throw for 300 yards ever. But just the rushing upside and in an offense that has Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson. I think the line's going to be an upgrade from the Steelers, and maybe they don't put the training wheels on them because the play calling last year. I mean, I remember going into work with you on Mondays and just being like, "What?" Like they didn't do anything to help them. I mean, they didn't. Everything was short, compact. I mean, and maybe there's a reason for that, and we're wrong. But it seemed like when they did give him an option to go deep, he did find Pickens deep a couple times on a couple nice balls. So I feel like I'm back in on him. I think this is probably hot take-ish, probably his best situation so far. Chicago, obviously we know the coaching staff there was a joke. Pittsburgh, yeah, Arthur Smith. What more can we say? And then like I said, this year he's got Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall behind him. A fairly decent line, a good defense. That defense is still fairly good. So I mean, could keep them in games, kind of like how Pittsburgh did last year. So I mean, he did go what 4-2 with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I think how I am with Justin Fields, I think I'm in as well. We got to remember he did have a quarterback 7 finish where DJ Moore was super relevant with a coaching staff where Caleb was like the god coming in, right? Like we knew he was getting replaced. A lot of people didn't agree with it. I agreed with it. I mean, I still really like Caleb, but even the ultimate Caleb Williams didn't look the greatest with this coaching staff.
Right.
We got to take that into consideration. So when he came in, he had Luke Getsy, and then Eberflus is the one that got fired and everything. So he's already been through a couple coordinators and head coaches. So still did okay with this horrible Eberflus team. Goes to an Arthur Smith offense and a Mike Tomlin offense it's not sexy.
No.
It's just very compacted. So you got to take that into consideration. Now he goes to Aaron Glenn. And I think, with this Tanner Engstrand offense where, part of this Detroit team of coaches that were really good probably learned some stuff under Ben Johnson. It could be good news for Justin Fields. This could be good news for him. I think this is good news I want a lot of Garrett Wilson. I want a lot of Brees Hall, and I'm fine with Justin Fields. Now, I do think in some of these best balls, he is taken a little bit higher than I feel comfortable with. But like from a dynasty's perspective, like, are you still in on giving like a late first for Justin Fields? Like, would you? Because like I'm still into the point, like, okay, yeah, I want Cam Ward over him, but I don't think I want Jackson Dart over him.
No, no. So I think I'm right there with you. I know I was for a while. I think I got one or like I'd sent out like a second for him in a lot, and I think I got him in like one or two places for a second. I thought that
Right.
was a steal.
Yeah, that's
Uh, yeah, late first. Yeah, depending on who's there, I'm there.
yeah. I'm there as well. Like
Because what did he sign? Did he sign for 4 years or 2 years? I can't remember.
2 years, I believe. I
Two
think it was 2
years.
years, 40 million, which
That's right.
isn't bad money.
Yeah,
Like
no,
from
not
my
at all.
understanding of being local, like within we're in the Pittsburgh stuff here. Like I think the Steelers wanted him, but he didn't want to be there, and I don't blame him.
No, I don't either.
I don't
I don't
blame him.
either. Yeah, they kind
So
of pulled a trick on him, bringing in Rodgers right after trading for him.
yeah, and then I just didn't agree with him winning the games, and then them going to Russ, and I
Yeah.
didn't really agree with it. So yeah, I still have some hope for Justin Fields here. Let me ask you this: would you trade Tua for him?
Oh, that gets tough.
It does get tough. It does get tough.
I think I'd rather have Tua.
Yeah, I think I lean Tua as well, but it
Yeah, I
almost
guess
does seem
both.
like one of them overpays today and underpay tomorrow, like
Yeah, yeah,
because we got to see it out of Garrett Wilson too. Like he's not on this list, but and I'm not saying he's like a done, like he's done after this, but Garrett Wilson hasn't had good quarterback play. But this almost seems like this is a year for him. Like, okay, we're hyping him up once again. We got to get some big numbers out of Garrett Wilson as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
next guy we're going to talk on just real quick here, Bryce Young. He definitely took a step forward. They bring in Ted McMillan, get big draft capital for him. Uh, how do we feel about Bryce Young?
I just like I think from the beginning, I just never really been a big Bryce Young guy.
Me
I
either.
just think his ceiling. I think if he ever finishes quarterback, like a quarterback one, I think he gets kind of lucky. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people have to.
probably get hurt.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So like, I mean, I think if you get him as a like, I don't want to say a throw in because that's a pretty expensive throw in, but like if you can get him or you need a quarterback three, like I think he's a good quarterback three in a
hmm
super flex,
yeah, yeah.
but I don't think he's ever going to win you any ships or anything like that.
Like this might be a hot take, but I'd rather have Justin Fields. Like I'd rather
I
gamble
would
on
too.
Justin Fields. I just
Yeah.
think the upside's there, man. I think the upside's there.
Yeah, I do too. I do
Uh,
too.
so we won't talk much about him. I'm gonna throw in. I made a post on X, and some people gave me some ideas of some people to throw in too. And this is one I thought was interesting. Tajay Spears. So Tajay Spears is somebody that I know I can't remember if you were or not. I was kind of higher on Tajay Spears, really like the talent. You go back and watch Tulane versus USC, you're like, oh my God, like this guy looks amazing. Seems like he's had a lot of health injuries himself. This is a reamped team with, much better offensive line. They've been kind of putting some stock into this offensive line. They bring in Cam Ward. We're excited about that. Do you think Tajay Spears can turn his career around? And does it kind of more based on health more than talent?
I do think it's based on more health and talent. I think he's in a good situation, like as far as like the Titans really want to build up that line. And I think they're
Yeah,
really doing a good job of building up that line
I do too.
and putting a good line behind or in front of them, I guess I should say. So I mean I think he's in a good situation. It is just a health thing. For
Mhm.
me, I think it's when he's healthy, he does put up the numbers.
Yeah, and he can catch the ball really well. Like I think him
Yeah.
and Tony Pollard would be a really good 1-2 punch.
Yes.
Uh, it just seems like Callahan's even came out and said like, "Hey, we want to give this guy the ball. We just need him available." Like, and that's
Yep.
just gonna have to probably be the factor with him. Looking into his rookie year, which is kind of crazy to think. His rookie year, he had 70 targets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he had 52 catches and 30 last year, but only played in 12 games. And that's just a problem. And it was kind of an ongoing problem in Tennessee because I kind of put my mouth where I was like, well, if Tennessee felt good at drafting him in the third round, then I feel fine drafting him. But
Yeah.
so far, hasn't completely worked out. But hey, maybe year three, a little bit of, maybe he can do a little bit of something here. But I think he's a player that if he does, you move on from him fast.
Right. Right.
Uh, Javonte Williams must. I know this one, as Tajay hit close to home for me, this one might hit a little close to home for you. Goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Uh, he has been underwhelming since the injury. I think that's safe to say. I think
Yeah.
I think this injury really kind of dampened his game because he's a smash mouth guy. I mean, him and Amari and Hampton play a lot of the same game, and I don't like to say that because of the UNC helmet in college, but that's that smash mouth. I'm gonna smash into you type of game. Maybe can he do anything here in Dallas?
Man, I'd feel better if it was like last year's Dallas's line, but this year's Dallas's line's kind of suspect. They
There's a
lost
lot of
Zach Martin.
questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. So I think last year, I think I would have been like jumping for joy, doing a backflip, being like, "Oh man, he's gonna smash there." But obviously they bring in Miles Sanders, and as of now, last we read, I think Miles Sanders has taken reps with the first team, I believe.
Yeah, it says that he's been taking some reps with the first team, which I don't think is anything horrible. We'll see. I
No.
don't know.
So, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely a guy I'm rooting for. I've got a lot of shares. Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, he really was a fun running back to watch. I mean, just them runs like against Baltimore where he just carried them guys for like 10, 15 yards. I hope he can get back to that, and the post injury stuff. Because they said he tore like 3 CLs. Like
Yeah.
the PCL, LCL, MCL, ACL. I don't know, but it just it seemed like there's a lot of CLs in there. So
Yeah, we don't like a lot
um,
of CLs, man. You start getting all
no,
them L's, it ain't ever good.
the old alphabet soup. So but yeah, I do. I hope for his sake. I don't know how many shares you have. I have a lot of shares, but I hope he can get back to at least 90% of what he was pre-injury. I mean, I know that injury it did derail him.
Yeah. Yeah, it put a big hurting on his career. What I will say is I'm not necessarily scared of Jaden Blue, and
No.
Miles Sanders hasn't had to clean a spill of health either. So I think it's just gonna be who can stay healthy, basically. And like you said, there are some questions with this Dallas offensive line. Now they have been putting a little bit of they drafted a guard in the first round this year. They have been trying to put back into it a little bit, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, for these guys to get acclimated and kind of see what they have. But I've been drafting a lot of Miles Sanders because he's basically free, and I just don't know who's going to get the job. Like I said, I think it's going to be whoever stays healthy. I think
Right.
talent wise are probably pretty close now. Like maybe you
Yeah.
lean into Javonte a little bit, but I don't think it's anything where it's like, oh, I have Javonte way up here and Miles Sanders way down here. And I think the market will correct itself eventually. Uh,
Yeah.
so there's one more guy I want to talk about, and I just threw him on the list because I don't think it's getting talked about enough. Is Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold does sign a 3-year, $100 million contract with Seattle, but his contract's kind of weird. They could definitely move on from Sam Darnold sooner rather than later. Like it could be a more of a 1-year deal for him. They do draft Jalen Milrow in the 3rd round. So Sam Darnold, are we a little bit worried? Like I know he's with Seattle, he has JSN, but them drafting Milrow kind of like made me, and I'm not saying I'm a big Milrow fan, but kind of made me a little bit more hesitant of what they might want to do here in Seattle going forward.
Yeah, I mean we love Kevin O'Connell, and definitely that Minnesota scheme. I mean having Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, even Aaron Jones. Like I'm not taking anything away from Sam Darnold, but that was definitely like the perfect situation to
Yeah.
revitalize your career. And the fact that they didn't really offer him anything to stay. Now, granted, I do know they drafted McCarthy, and they probably want to give the keys to McCarthy at some point. But like at that point in time, like is it one of those where they don't believe in Darnold or do they believe in McCarthy?
Hmm.
Because if McCarthy comes out and stinks it up, you're gonna have a lot of pissed off Minnesota fans because they just watched Sam Darnold just basically walk out the door.
Yeah.
So that kind of raises a lot of I don't know. I don't know which door to really look at it. Like, do they believe in McCarthy? Like, do they see a lot in practice that because obviously they see a lot more behind the scenes stuff than we do.
Right.
Right. Or did they not believe in Darnold?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I think that's where it's at because it is very hard. Now I know he lost his playoff game or whatever, but it's very hard to have somebody take you to the playoffs when
yes.
you weren't really expected to go there in the first place, and then move on from them. That I think they are telling us that like they feel really good about McCarthy, and obviously they spent pretty good capital to get him, in the first round like they did. And I feel like we've seen this with a lot of guys in the past where these quarterbacks come out, have a really good season, and never do anything again. They do get
Yep.
paid or whatever. And I think how Seattle loaded this contract kind of tells us a little bit of a story as well. I'm very, very. If I have Sam Darnold, I'm trying to move him. I'm trying to move him because I think this could be it. I don't want to say it is it because what he did, I don't want to take nothing away from him.
Right.
Great season. Supporting cast was amazing. Coaching was amazing, but I'm going to Seattle here. I think Jalen Milroe. I remember this is Mike McDonald team where he's with Baltimore. I think they might think Jalen Milroe could be their Lamar Jackson. They want to run the football. We know that. This is why Kenneth Walker is such a good value. Now people are starting to kind of come up on Kenneth Walker. They have Zach Charbonnet. Even Damian Martinez, who I know went much later than I expected, but big bruising back that can pound it between the tackles. They want to run the ball. I think Jalen Milroe, this is kind of my take. I think Jalen Milroe is the best superflex value right now.
Yes.
You're drafting him in the end of the second, beginning of the third, who could see the field sooner rather than later, that Lamar Jackson couldn't throw the ball great coming out. And he went last pick of the first round to Baltimore, that they really worked with them. They built an offense for Lamar Jackson. They didn't let Lamar Jackson just kind of do whatever. They built it for him. And I think this is what Seattle might want to be doing for Jalen Milroe for the future. So that's kind of my take. I have so much Jalen Milroe, it's not even funny. And
yeah, I do too.
And here's my thing, man. Like, okay, we swung the bat on Anthony Richardson as a top 3, top 2 pick, right? Like, we swung the bat there. Why not swing the bat on Jalen Milroe at the end of the second, beginning of the third?
Yeah. And I'm to the point where, like, if I miss on him, I'll offer a 26 second. Like, I'll get that second back. Like,
yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. Like, you can get that pick back. That's where I think we were wrong with Anthony Richardson and how we can learn is let's swing the bat on Milroe, who is another project player that we're getting it how much later. Like, I'm fine swinging there. I think I'm going to try to be a little bit more safer with my beginning picks rather than these later picks. So
yeah.
So I think that's going to do it for this show. And I mean, we just brought you 16 players that are kind of in make and break. I mean, you can make an argument for other players, and like I said, some of these guys might be safer as being on an NFL roster, but losing value where we're just kind of getting sick of the disappointment, or some guys that we think can really take the step forward and gain some value as well. Yeah, that's going to do it. I appreciate you coming on, Muscles, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing you again possibly next week, and maybe more shows to come forward. It's just kind of getting all of our schedules to match around, and he kind of hoping, leaning more towards another host of the show role, and trying to get some other guys on here as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to put this up on YouTube. Like I said, SC's done an amazing job of making this look great, and shout out to him and what they got going on. And just appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. Hopefully we can help, and we will see you on the next episode of the Fantasy Football Power Hour.
Yeah, see ya.
Yo, welcome to the Power Hour.